The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Oh, shit! It's Vince Russo!
Vince McMahon's best-kept secret.
I am the Antichrist of professional wrestling.
David Arquette won the world title.
I've got a wife, 3 kids at home, and I really don't need this shit.
How can this show be so awful, Mr. McMahon? I didn't think it was.
Viagra on a pole match.
And Hogan, you big bald son of a bitch, kiss my ass.
Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. McMahon, the family, the Rock, they screwed us all.
Now, you're the editor, right?
Mankind did it! Jumpy, beat. Goldberg steered Russo out of the cage.
I'm from New York.
I'll get downright nasty.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Hello, everybody. It is Uncle Vince Russo here with The Brand, and I am joined by the great, big Vito LaGrasso. Vito, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. The Pavarotti of hard shots to the body. The Paisan who's got it going on. The mentor and maker of the big Vito brand is here, live, baby, live, and we're ready to do this SummerSlam report.
Yeah, Vito and I are just coming fresh off of watching SummerSlam. It just ended a few minutes ago. We're going to give you our analysis of the show. Before we do, let me tell you that this show is brought to you by TrueCar. There's something about TrueCar that a lot of people don't know, and that is that using TrueCar can also help you buy a used car. In fact, there are over 700,000 pre-owned vehicles available from TrueCar certified dealers nationwide. So whether you're looking to buy new or used, you can get upfront pricing information that empowers discounts off the list price for used cars and a better buying experience through their TrueCar certified dealers network. 3 million cars have been sold through TrueCar. So when you're ready to buy new or used, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features are not available in all states. That's TrueCar.com. All right, Vito, listen, man, I'm not a knock or anything, but I know, bro, there's a pre-show, and between the pre-show and the live show, it's like 5 hours of wrestling. Bro, I didn't watch the pre-show. I started with the official show. I started with Cena and Baron Corbin. With all due respect, 5-6 hours of wrestling I cannot handle. So did you watch the pre-show?
I watched the pre-show. I didn't get a chance to see the Miz Taraj go over the Hardys and that kid. Jason, yeah. I'm so happy I predicted that the Miz Taraj went over. They're trying to give this kid the push. He really is not ready to have that kind of singles push. The match I did watch was the Usos against the New Day. That was a great back-and-forth tag match with a lot of great false finishes. I thought it was very well done. Should have been on the main show, in my opinion. And, I thought it was a great win for the Usos. So, without further ado, you can lead us off into the Cena-Corbin match. Yeah,
let's talk about it, Vito. Vito, I'm going to tell you something. Listen, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. There was a lot I liked about this pay-per-view. There was very little I didn't like about it. Now, I have some questions, and a big question mark, bro. Involves Baron Corbin, and I'll tell you that in a second. But, bro, I got to tell you, there was a lot about this show that I liked. I liked, I'll tell you what I liked and I didn't like about Cena and Baron Corbin, bro. I love the fact, this is what I love, bro. This is what I love. I love when you're following up your character's state of mind. The last time we saw Baron Corbin Tuesday, he cashed in Money in the Bank. It backfired in his face, and he carried that into today, which I thought was great. I love the aggression he was showing early on in the match. You could tell, and the announcers were telling the story. The announcers were backing that up. Losing that Money in the Bank case really affected this guy. So he showed a lot of aggression, going into this match, and I liked it. A lot of guys, a lot of guys go from show to show to show, and they fail in putting the pieces together. I know as a producer, Vito, I always used to have to remind the guys, okay, the last thing you did was this. So you need to get in that frame of mind, because a lot of guys, would forget from match to match to match. I thought he did a really good job. And, bro, here's what I'm thinking, Vito. I did not like Cena beating him clean, but here's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, bro, they're going to get everybody over, and they're going to protect everybody over as long as Cena beats this guy clean. And now maybe Corbin comes back and has a say-so in that Mahal-Nakamura match, because he's got a history with both of those guys. So I'm thinking, all right, bro, now he's really pissed off over the Cena loss. Now he's going to come back in that match, have some kind of an impact, and he'll get his steam back. Bro, that did not happen. So Corbin gets beat, bro, in the middle. Bro, here's the thing I don't understand about the WWE, and we've discussed this before. Bro, they'll light a fire under somebody, and then they'll just freaking douse them with water. We've seen this again and again. You and I were talking about Rusev a couple of weeks ago. Here, this Corbin gets the money in the bank. They light this Corbin up. So, Vito, knowing wrestling the way you do and knowing wrestling the way I do, the only sense I can make out of this was this guy pissed somebody off in the back.
That is the inside scoop. I'm going to tell you, Baron Corbin started out strong. He was a beast. That guy could play in the major leagues. The thing that ruined his push with the Money in the Bank and tonight's match was the fact that he shit on people on the internet, shit on people on Twitter. WWE got a wind of it, and that's the end of your push. When you crap on people and you're a WWE superstar, they don't like you partaking in this crapping on people. You're supposed to be above this. Carry yourself like a superstar. Carry yourself like a main event person at all aspects. You don't throw dicks at people, and you don't crap on people. It's a good day, bad day, crappy day. How you doing? Thank you for being a fan. I greatly appreciate it. Can I sign something for you? This kid was in the middle of a push of a lifetime. He did piss somebody off. You saw it was happening.
But Vito, let me ask you this, bro. Again, Vito, you know better than anybody. This is business, right? It's business, bro. So, bro, if you're lighting a fire under this kid, you give him the Money in the Bank case, you got plans from the kid F's up. Bro, why wouldn't you just reprimand him, give him a warning, maybe fine him, opposed to dousing him with a gallon of water and, freaking burying the guy? Because at the end of the day, bro, that hurts your company. So, listen, I'm not blaming the WWE. If they felt the guy had to be reprimanded or punished, reprimand him or punish him. But when you do that on TV and to his character, bro, you're spiting yourself. Am I right or wrong about this, Vito?
You are spiting yourself, but the way they're looking at it is, if you're going to make this guy the face of your company or give him a title, guys have to learn how to respect the title. With the title, there comes a responsibility to yourself, the company, and the fans. And a lot of guys don't get those three aspects. Yes, I'm going to give you an example of somebody who had the best push of all. And
why not hit the guy in the pocketbook? Why? That's going to hurt him, but it's not going to hurt your company in the process.
Because hurting somebody in a pocketbook and giving them the push and instead of the push, it doesn't matter. What hurts guys most is when they have their push taken away. Old school mentality here. Guy messes up, you send him out, you make him do the job. If a guy has that big of an ego and he messes up and he thinks he's better than him, have him job for a month. That'll set him straight. In the middle of a push, with Cena moving to Raw, the sensible thing was to have him slip over Cena. Cena goes to Raw, goes on his merry way, gets the guy over, makes him a main player. Because the guy messed up, lost the Money in the Bank, he lost tonight's match. He showed aggression. He had to come to play. The best guy I could tell you had the push of a lifetime and was going to the moon and was going to make X amount of dollars, unquestionable, being top star, Jack Swagger. When he had Dutch Mantel and they did We the People, when he got busted for pot, it was We the People, his push, his title, everything down the tubes. They never gave him another chance.
Wow, I'm shaking my head because I know you're right, but that's stiff, bro. You know why, bro? Because again, I'm not saying what Baron Corbin did was right. I'm not saying anything like that, bro. But I'm saying people screw up, bro. I mean, let's face it. We all make mistakes. And bro, listen, a guy like Baron Corbin, bro. He's new to the wrestling business. He's new to the WWE. He doesn't know things work that way. He doesn't understand the etiquette. I mean, now he's going to learn the hard way. But, I mean, bro, he doesn't understand, the consequences of everything he does. But I don't know, bro. Like I said, I just think at the end of the day, it winds up hurting. Yes, it hurts him, but I also think it winds up hurting.
That's the problem with the young people in the business that don't go through the territories because there are none, and they might just get a little taste in the indies and they give it to them in NXT. It's NXT experience. They're not learning the other side of the business. They're learning wrestle. They're not learning the business aspect. And a lot of guys lose that in translation. It's a business, fellas. You have to learn the business like you learn wrestling. It's 50-50. It goes hand in hand. You don't make $1 million unless you carry yourself like $1 million, you act like $1 million, and you train like $1 million. Everything has to be on par. If you train like $1 million, like Jinder Mahal, okay, you'll look like $1 million. He carries himself like $1 million. He's on par. You think he's going to not praise the WWE and speak his mind and take a knee at the national anthem? No way. He's going to play ball the way they want, and he's going to do it that way. That's the wrestling business 101. I'm going to be a yes man. I'm going to do man. I'm going to be your man. And that's the way it is.
Yeah. All right, Vito, let's look at Natalya and Naomi. First of all, bro, I say this all the time. You know, Vito, I want to see what you think about this. Bro, pound for pound, seriously, bro, pound for pound, I honestly believe Naomi could be the best athlete on the WWE roster.
100% you're on Mark.
Oh, my God, bro. I think this girl's a great athlete. Now, bro, here's another thing I don't understand about the WWE and what they're doing. I've got nothing against Natalya. I really have nothing against her. And it's not like the WWE is flip-flopping titles. But, Vito, it seems, bro, they have somebody on a really nice roll. And then they pull the carpet out from under them. They go to the back of the line, and they start all over again. And, bro, tonight, they didn't do that just once. I think they did it twice in both the women's matches. You know, Naomi was on a nice little run. Bro, I love her entrance. I love the color. The kids were getting into it. The energy. She's believable. She's a great freaking athlete. In the other match, Alexa Bliss has been building herself as a great heel.
Yes.
And bro, so like it's still going up. It's still crescendoing. But before it gets to the time to take the title off them, I don't know. Like, again, nothing against Natalya. This was a great match. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I just don't think it was time to take the belt off Naomi.
You are absolutely right. Naomi is probably the best athlete in the WWE. But I'm going to explain something. Do you remember the term a transition champion?
Yes.
You don't want to beat Naomi, but you can beat Natalya and give credibility to Carmella without hurting Naomi. I think it's a transition move where Natalya's going to have it. She's going to have a couple week run. Carmella's going to cash it in. That's just one of that, and that is old school wrestling.
But it is old school wrestling, Vito, if they keep Naomi strong. And see, I think that's where the WWE is failing now, because if that's the plan, man, I just have a feeling, bro, that now that the belt is not on her and now that she's not the champion, they're just going to make her one of the girls, and they're not going to keep her strong. I mean, that's my fear.
It's a good point because look what they did with Charlotte Flair. She came over with all the prestigious medals. She is probably on par with Naomi, best athlete in the company, but she settled down into the mid-card level once they took the strap off her. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. That's what I'm
saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
It could be. I just think Natalya is going to be the transition champion here, and I think Carmella is in line to get the push and get the run.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Big Cass and Big Show. I'll let you go first. What do you think about this?
Okay. My thoughts and what I thought was going to be, I was hoping that Enzo was going to turn heel with Kaz. He's going to become the manager, and they were going to become heels. They were the two big baby faces. The Big Show, put over Kaz. I thought it was good. I just think wasting Enzo is a waste of time. They should have made him the manager and the mouthpiece. Both of them as heels and trying to get Kaz as a singles push to a title. I think that would have been great. It was a decent match. It was a little slow. They're two big guys. Show did an excellent job getting him over. Kudos to him. Now we're going to see what the kid can do. I personally think he needs a manager and a mouthpiece. I don't think he's ready for that singles push at the elite level. I think he'll get a good mid-card run until he runs into a title shot, and then it'll be a 50-50 on what they do with him.
Yeah. Vito, I got to tell you, I liked what they did here. I liked what they did here for a lot of reasons. First of all, bro, I loved Enzo on the mic because there was a little shooting in that promo, which I liked, which I thought was really good. He shot a little in the promo. Bro, I love the old school, Kaz, work the hand. That's old school, great psychology. The match told the story. You totally understood it. Bro, I gotta call me a Marc, call me whatever you want. And yes, I am a Marc for Enzo, but when he started stripping down and oiling himself up to slip through the bars, I thought that was creative as crap. And what I thought was even better than that, bro, was once he finally got to the ring, Kaz kicked him in the face and we never heard from him again. So I thought that was really good. And I thought, bro, I really thought they did a great job in the most important thing in this match, and that was getting Kaz over. I thought they did a great job with that.
They got him over. They got a little humor. They got a pop. They used Enzo for something. The guy has been on a roll to take bumps and fade for the past 3 months. That's all he's been doing. So now we're going to see what they're going to do with Enzo, if they're going to have him come out on Raw anymore. Big Show is going to move on to something else. And, it's good for Kaz, but I think he's just incomplete. He just needs a better arsenal.
I got you. All right, this was a little head scratcher too, Vito. I think I have the answer to why they did this, but I don't understand it. Like, you said it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been saying it since I've been doing this show. Bro, Rusev is one of the most believable guys on the roster. Like, Rusev is a guy, bro, like he's married to Lana. Like, Rusev is the guy that if you made a pass at his wife, he would just freaking kill you. Like, it's that simple, bro. The guy, if you looked at him wrong in a bar, this guy would just kill you. He's very, very, very believable. So, Rusev, we got the jump start, which was good. It was the only jump start of the night. Rusev got some really good heat on Orton, but before we know it, RKO out of nowhere, and it was over. I mean, that was it. It was over. Now, bro, the only thing I can make out of this is possibly, see again, bro, I can't understand the mindset of the WWE because I'm always putting myself in Booker mode, and I know you gotta protect everybody. So what I'm thinking of is, okay, bro, Orton lost 3 matches in a row to Jinder. Right. So now they're trying to rebuild Orton. Orton beat Mahal in that non-title. Now they give him a big back-to-back win over Rusev. So in their mind, they're rebuilding Orton. That's fine, but what about Rusev?
Can I tell you my thoughts on it?
Yeah, honestly, of course.
I think we always have one match on a pay-per-view, and you know this because you work the controls. There's always one match on the pay-per-view that's short on time, and that match was that match.
You think so, huh, bro?
I absolutely. He came out like a house of fire. He got his offense in. Everybody knows he's an ass kicker. And what's Orton's thing? RK only needs is one move. So they didn't need that much time to establish that. It really didn't take any credibility against Rusev. You know, Randy Orton is Randy Orton, RKO. We know that. Okay, we give him a win. But I honestly think it was a short-on-time basis. There's one match on the card.
Yep.
That was it.
That makes a lot of sense, Vito.
They didn't shortchange the girls like they always do. They shortchanged that match.
Yeah. Okay, now, bro, again, I'm getting back to the same situation in the next women's match as we did with the first one, but I thought this was a bigger mistake than Naomi losing the belt. I mean, Sasha against Alexa. I think Alexa Bliss has been freaking unbelievable in that role, bro. She's growing in that role, the way she carries herself. Why would you take that belt from her at this point in time?
Don't know. It's got to be, you know, they've been trying to repackage Bayley. They've been phasing her out with this injury. They took her off the card. They've been, you know, teasing a feud with Sasha Banks. Here's going to be where Bayley comes back as a heel, screws over Sasha. They're going to go to the next pay-per-view.
But you know what, Vito? If you're right with that, and I agree with you as a writer, okay, you don't need the belt involved in that.
No.
You don't need
jealousy.
That.
It's the jealousy part.
Of course, bro. It's the friendship. That's the story. You don't need the belt involved in that. So you're wasting the belt because the story's already there. That's what I don't understand.
No, you're right. I think she's one of the best women in the division on both Raw and SmackDown. She carried the belt. She had that swag that you need. She did a great job. She's vicious. She's an ass kicker. But you're right. They didn't need to take it off her. But on the same token, that's their booking method. You know, give it to Sasha, have it some meaning, go into a feud with Bayley. That's where I see. You know, they have a couple of girls. Nia Jax is ready for a title run. If they'd let her roll and stop this bumping thing they have her do. I think that, you know, they're running out of storylines with girls. They put it on Sasha. Sasha won't be a transition champion. She'll be a champion, but it'll be for a feud and a cause.
Yeah. All right, Vito, listen, I have to be honest with this, and you know, both of us, bro, we shoot straight with everything we say, and that's, you know, that's probably why we're both sitting on the sidelines, but we have each other and we love each other, and that's really all that matters. Is that true, bro?
That works.
All right. Bro, there's nothing. I am not a Finn Balor fan. There is nothing I like about Finn Balor. He looks like a midget to me. He looks like he couldn't last a day in the wrestling business if it was legit. I don't care how many cum de grace he's got. I don't give a crap. This guy does absolutely nothing for me. And bro, Vito, please go anti me here. But, bro, this is like the second time now, I think the second time the WWE has used this demon character. And every time I see the demon character, you know what it looks like to me, Vito? It looks like Finn Balor with face paint. It's the same freaking guy. Like, it's the same guy. And, like, it just, am I missing something here, bro?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at Bray Wyatt. And I'm looking at Finn Balor, and I'm saying to myself, if I was writing this show, I sure as hell know who's more valuable to me out of these two. Bray Wyatt to me could be Undertaker status.
Yes.
Okay, what am I missing here, bro? Please straighten me out.
All right, I'm going to tell you what it is. Now, they had two great entrances, okay? Two great entrances. Those are the entrances. That's the kind of thing you want. Now, the demon character, if you notice tonight, he was in a no-sell mode. I'm sorry. He wasn't in no-sell mode. When he got hit, he didn't register. He didn't sell it. Bray Wyatt took way too many bumps. And it was ridiculous for a big man like that to be bumping. If you're going to put the Demon over, Bray Wyatt should have had majority of that match. Give the Demon a big comeback, and then you go, get out of the Sister Abigail, have it go into the thing like they did. I just think it was a bullshit finish. Bray Wyatt didn't have enough offense. They wasted Bray Wyatt, and it looked like 101 indie wrestling from the outside with the face paint, with what he did on the outside, the way he wrestled. He just reminded me of an indie guy with paint on, and it was an indie match. It did not belong in the WWE.
Hey, Vito, can I ask you a question about this? And again, bro, I'm not a worker, so like that's why when I talk about what happens from bell to bell, I'm a novice, okay? And that's okay. When he does that coup de grace, bro, that chest stomp from the top rope, bro, is there any way for him? I mean, he is coming down on you with all his body weight, isn't he? I mean, I don't understand that move because, of course, the guy's going to block it. Okay, bro, he's coming down with all his body weight then on the guy's freaking arms. I mean, I don't understand that move because he can't pull that move. All his weight is coming down on the guy's chest. And let me tell you something, bro. If somebody's laying there and they don't cover up quick enough and he lands directly on their sternum, I mean, it's lights. Bro, am I a Marc that I don't understand?
No, you're not.
That move?
I don't think it's a strong enough finishing move because you see a guy jumping from the top and he's just jumping on your stomach. It's just like taking a splash. But, I mean, I don't like it. It is a dangerous move if you're not protected, if your guy's not looking. I just don't get what they see in him, the Finn Balor thing, the entrance. But then when he wrestles with these guys, he couldn't go into the main event tonight. He's not a main event guy with all those monsters, and it wouldn't be believable. He belongs in the cruiserweights, and that's where he'd be effective.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd have a problem with him there. I don't think I have. But like I said, bro, if I got a Bray Wyatt on my roster and I got a Finn Balor, it's a no-brainer to me. It's a no-brainer. Who cuts a freaking promo like Bray Wyatt, bro? Come on.
Nobody. And what they missing is they should have built up the Bray Wyatt clan and made the Wyatt family again. I mean, and that was the whole thing that got you. You see the Wyatts coming out. They always talk about a Sister Abigail. They were supposed to have a female join the group. Never happened. I mean, how many times can you bury this guy, and how many times can you not get him over? I mean, he's a great character. He's a very good worker. But, I mean, I just don't know why they're not giving it to him, and it's a shame. It's a waste of talent.
It really is, bro. You know what it is, Vito? It's one of those circumstances where – and it was always my challenge, Vito, with guys like Austin and The Rock and Shawn and guys like this. Their level of talent was so high, bro, that I had to up my game as a writer to meet their level of talent. I couldn't give them shit, bro, because they were superstar. That's the problem here, bro. You got this guy with a great amount of talent and, bro, creative, including Vince. They cannot write up to his talent. That's the problem you're seeing, bro.
I would take it. I believe that 100%. They're missing the ball on him, and it's a shame because he could be such a great asset, an asset to the company in a better capacity than what they're doing. And if they started doing the thing, like an Undertaker-esque thing with him, I think that would be worth $1 million 10 times over.
Yeah. All right, Vito, here's one of these things like I'm going to talk about a little bit from a writing point of view. We had the tag team with Sheamus and Cesaro against Rollins and Ambrose, the Shield back together.
Right.
Yada, yada, yada. Bro, I just would have loved the thought of, Ambrose and Rollins win the belts, and then Ambrose turns around and lays out Rollins. I would have loved that. However, even I know, bro, there are some times in wrestling when you just have to give the people what they want. This is what the people wanted. They wanted Ambrose and Rollins together again. They wanted them to win the belts. They wanted them to be huggy kissy at the end. They sent the people home happy. They gave the people what they wanted. I would have loved to see that. I knew it wasn't going to happen because, like I said, bro, there are just sometimes you got to pay it off and you got to give the people what they want, and the people definitely popped at the finish.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I predicted. I said that it was going to be either Ambrose and Rollins hit each other on a mistake during the match, right, and they give the swerve, and then they give it out later. They still come out winning, but there was still that edge. But I would tell you this is one of the best tag team matches I have seen in a long time.
Wow.
All four guys worked hard. I thought it probably was the second best match on the card tonight. And, I mean, the main event, of course, was off the hook. But this match, up until that point, that was the best match of the night. Kudos to WWE for putting them over, sending the fans home happy, and it was a good finish.
Vito, can you explain to everybody out there? I know a little bit about it, but I don't know that much about it. That's why I'm asking you, bro. Cesaro's got a history of those shoulder problems and whatnot, bro. What does that tape do that he wears on his shoulder?
Those pieces of tape hold your muscles and holds everything in place, and it's like a support band to where you can't extend it or you can't, stretch it out or pull it. So that's why he wears the band. What does that mean? I mean, what kind of material is that? Is it made from? It's like a stretched nylon, and it's a very sticky, gluey substance that stays on. And it's a stretch material. So this way it gives you the stretch, but it gives you support.
Have you ever had to use that before?
No, I never used it before.
That's okay. That's it. Well, obviously it works because Cesaro wears it. I saw somebody else had it on tonight too. I can't remember who it was.
But the best pop of the night with that was when he tore up the beach ball, and nobody's going to play beach ball during my match.
Yeah, that was great, bro. When he went running off into the crowd, nobody knew where he was going. Bro, do you think that was set up?
I don't think so because they're both of them. He looked pretty pissed.
Yeah, here's the only reason I'm thinking it might have been set up because, bro, they're both foreigners, and it wasn't a red, white, and blue American beach ball.
You could be right.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. It didn't seem that way, bro. It did not seem that way.
No, he was pissed.
Yeah, it did not seem that way. All right, listen, bro. Let's talk. Vito, you're gonna have to carry me a little bit on this one, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you the honest reason. I'm at Owens and AJ, and Shane is the referee. Vito, I'm gonna be honest with you. I nodded out. Look at the couch behind me there. You see, the couch saw some action during the show. Right. Bro, I nodded out during this match. And I'll tell you why I nodded out during this match, Vito. Bro, because those rosters are so shrunken down with the brand, bro, I just feel like I've seen AJ and Owens a million times. I just felt like I saw this match a million times before. Okay, Shane was there now. Right. I get it. But, I mean, bro, come on. The ending was predictable. It was kind of predictable. So, like you could see, bro, I napped during this match. But like I said, bro, this was one of the matches on the card and maybe the only match on the card where I just felt like I've seen it a million times.
Well, I'm going to give you something, okay? Now, these three guys together, they have history. They have a story going into it. I'm going to give this match an A. A because they all work together. And the spots they did with Shane were on point. And the both of them played off Shane. And it was a good match. Shane did a great job as a referee. It was entertaining. AJ won. AJ and Owens together. It doesn't have that flavor. Throwing Shane in there for the spontaneous, who's going to get screwed, the screw job, I could believe it. But, them three of them working together and pulling off the spots they did, that was worth an A tonight, and that was a credit to all three guys in the ring.
Vito, is it just me, or is Shane starting to look more and more like George Hamilton?
Yeah, Shane doesn't have that little boy look no more like in 96. So I guess that's what's happening.
I'm a big Shane fan, but I think he's too much with the tannin booth.
I always said he is one of the best, one of the most natural, gifted athletes
absolutely.
and wrestlers
Yes.
in the company, and if that guy was a wrestler,
Yep.
he'd be the bomb.
Bro, you know what? Not only a wrestler, I would think if Shane participated in any type of athletic sport, I think Shane would be great at football. I think Shane would be great at baseball. I think Shane would be, you know what I'm saying, bro? I think he just has that ability, you know?
He has that ability. And let me tell you, for a guy who doesn't wrestle all the time and who used to practice people in the WWE ring down at the production center in Stamford, Connecticut, they had a studio and they had a ring there. Shane used to practice with Stevie Richards. He used to go over there. That's why Stevie Richards was kept on for so long. He used to be Shane's training partner. And when they used to go down to the studio, they used to practice, and Shane used to get in ring shape, during his younger days. Maybe now he doesn't practice as much. He doesn't need to. But let me tell you something. For a guy who's not a full-time wrestler to do the things he does, I think he is great.
Bro, can I tell you something since you brought it up? I ran into my good old friend Stevie Richards last night.
Okay.
Vito, 46 years old. The freaking shape he's in is freaking he's a freak. He's a freak.
He's got genetics.
Oh my God, bro. You would never, ever think he was a 46-year-old man, that Stevie Richards. He's always been in that kind of shape, bro.
No, I mean, guys, let me tell you something. To be in that kind of shape, I went from Skull Von Crush to Big Vito to ripped and shredded in the WWE, but the amount of work you got to put into that body and the constant grind is something that, you can't do. You wake up running 5 miles. You go to sleep running 5 miles. You're doing everything possible to get that body. When you don't train like that no more, okay, you're not training because you don't have a purpose, but, I keep myself in shape and I'm in good shape. I know if I turned it up 2 notches, I can get to that again. But the work you have to put in,
especially as you get older, it's more and more work.
It's more work. And remember, when you get there, you got to keep it and you got to work twice as hard. I know Stevie's still wrestling, so that's a perk. If he wasn't wrestling, would he train like that anymore? You don't know.
Yeah,
but good for him.
Yeah, I think he would though, bro, because that's all part of he's so into that. He's so into the body and all that stuff. All right, Vito. Before we talk about the last 2 main events, and we're really gonna break those apart. Let me tell you about Pro Wrestling Loot. Pro Wrestling Loot is the monthly pro wrestling mystery box that comes to you once a month, filled with wrestling merchandise. This mystery box comes packed with autographed photos, action figures, t-shirts, and exclusive collectibles you won't find anywhere else. Sign up now at ProWrestlingLoot.com for just $19.99 monthly with no commitments. You could go month to month. It's not like Jelly at a Month Club or Fruit at a Month Club. You could get it 1 month, not get it the next, get it the following month, whenever you'd like. And for all of you first-time subscribers that sign up now, you'll save an additional 10% off your first month's box by using the promo code Russo. So if you go to ProWrestlingLoot.com and use Russo, that first box is now $17.99. If you want the hottest wrestling items spanning through all the eras of wrestling, Attitude Era, the early days of WrestleMania, all the eras of wrestling, then Pro Wrestling Loot is for you. From legends and Hall of Famers to the biggest indie stars, even Vince Russo, was included in a Pro Wrestling Loot mystery box. So head on over now to ProWrestlingLoot.com and remember, save 10% off your first box by using the promo code Russo. That's ProWrestlingLoot.com. You can follow them on Twitter at Wrestling Loot. All right, Vito, I'm gonna go to you first. Nakamura and Jinder Mahal.
Okay. All right, wrestling fans. You want my take on this? Okay. I thought the first couple spots in there, having Jinder Mahal play that chicken shit heel, which I hate because he looks like an ass kicker, was a waste of time. Mm-hmm. Once he got rolling and he started to assert himself, it was good. The one point I am going to bring out right now, I know there's a lot of Nakamura fans and there's Jinder Mahal fans. I said this before the match started. There will only be a title change if they are going to Japan and they had to get Japan subscribers. Right now, they're concentrating on the India scene. I think they have an India tour coming up in September. I am happy they kept the title on him as a strong heel. It was a good finish. It was the right finish. And for you people out there, I'm going to say this and nobody take it to heart. Nakamura does not have world championship caliber star power in his arsenal. He is a intercontinental champion, a U.S. title champion, a tag team champion. As much as everybody likes this guy and everybody's behind him, as you see now Jinder Mahal is new at being the face of the company and new as the champion. Nakamura has been a superstar in Japan for a good part of his career. So it's apples and oranges, but Jinder Mahal has the it factor when it comes to being a star and looking the part, whereas Nakamura, he's not doing his style and his brand of wrestling here in the States, and it takes him down a couple notches. He just does not look like a universal or world champion in my eyes. I thought it was a great finish. I thought kudos to him. And Vince, you could take it from there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you a couple of things about this, Vito. Vito, I had to laugh. Because this is what came to my mind when they were making the ring introductions. Bro, when Nitro was kicking our ass, okay, bro, and they opened up every show with the cruiserweights, okay, bro, right. That is when all of a sudden, okay, we got to get a light heavyweight division. We got to get a light heavyweight division, and that's when Michinoku and Scotty 2 Hotty was Scott Taylor, right?
Right, Scott Taylor
and Brian Christopher was the big one. Okay, right. That's when we brought all these guys in. But, bro, I remember when we were discussing this, and this is why I popped. We decided, bro, that the light heavyweight division was going to be 220 pounds and less. Okay, bro? Okay. Bro, guess what Nakamura was introduced at?
Tell me.
220 pounds. Yeah, that tells you right there how backwards the wrestling business has gone, bro. That was our light heavyweight division, and now this guy is going to get a shot at the WWE title.
It just, you know what it is? It's, SmackDown is, they always say SmackDown is the second show. SmackDown has the most talent of the two shows. It's just that the caliber of what they're doing with the talent and where they're placing them, it seems a little misguided. Jinder Mahal is now the face of the company. He has a body. You had John Cena. He has a body. Baron Corbin is a tall guy who wears a shirt. Kevin Owens wears a shirt. AJ Styles is not a big guy. He's 220 pounds, but he's a great athlete and a great wrestler. You have a bunch of other guys on the show who really are not that. They don't have that look of the champion.
The it factor.
The it factor. And it's not a knock against the guys. It's just where they place them on the shows, guys. And when you look at, a Nakamura against Jinder Mahal, you see who the champion is and who looks, and you see who is the challenger. And that's the way they walked in, and that's exactly how they should have walked out.
Here's what drives me crazy about Vince McMahon, bro. I swear, like, Vito, I don't mean to put myself over, but the wrestling business was like dying in 95 because Vince was still doing 1970s wrestling. And that's when, like, I came along and I was kind of like, bro, like, it's almost 2000, bro. Times have changed. Times are different. We got to mirror society. We got to do some things different. And, bro, why he even tried some of the things I told him, I have no idea, bro. But thank God he tried some of the things. They worked. He got more and more confidence in me and, the Attitude Era. Okay? Right. Bro, it drives me crazy with, bro, we're talking about now 20 years ago. And, bro, Vince McMahon literally has gone back 20 years. And let me explain to you how, Vito.
Okay.
Here's what bothered me more than anything in this match. Here's what bothered me, bro. Once again, we had the Singh brothers have to get involved in the finish. And up to this point, this is the only way that Jinder Mahal has won any match, by using these two guys.
Right.
Here's what, if I had Vince McMahon in front of me, bro, and I said many things to Vince McMahon that could have got me fired, okay? I would explain to Vince, when a guy looks like Jinder Mahal, the chicken shit stuff does not work, because Jinder Mahal can walk into a bar and probably legitimately beat everybody in the place up. So he doesn't need, the Singh brothers to beat a guy that weighs 220 pounds. And you know what Vince doesn't understand, Vito? You know what is heat? Here's what's heat, bro. When you got a guy from a foreign country who looks the way he does and who legitimately beats everybody. That's heat, bro. When all your baby faces step up and they can't beat him, that is heat. But the fact that you got a guy that looks like this and he needs these two midgets to beat a guy that weighs 200. It's like, Vince, what the freak are you thinking, bro? Wake up. This is 2017. Look at what freaking Jinder Mahal looks like, bro. He could kick anybody's ass that he wants to. But yet he only wins matches when we use these two jabronis. Bro, remember when Rollins had his run with Triple H and
yes.
we used those two jabrones?
Right.
I understand that with Rollins, because Rollins is a small guy. I get that. But not when you have a guy that looks like Jinder Mahal, bro. Bro, Jinder Mahal, when he was in the match with Cena, bro, the guy was bigger than Cena.
And I'm going to see if you remember a guy who did a foreigner gimmick, who was the baddest heel on the planet, and his name was Ludwig Borga.
Oh, of course, bro.
2 years undefeated. 2 years. That's how you build.
Bro, and you know who you had from him? I'm going to go back one step further, because I'll never forget this, bro, because he beat the shit out of our beloved Chief J Strongbow when I was a kid. Waldo Von Erich. Bro, remember those old-time heels, because they were bigger and they could and they kicked your ass. They didn't need anybody.
Ivan Koloff.
Yeah, Ivan Koloff. I don't understand, why would Vince have these with this monster?
I can't tell you why. I don't understand it. He really, if these guys just carried the bags, held the jackets, I would be happy with that. Them taking bumps just to give a diversion so he could put the finish. And by the way, as good as we look at this, that the right guy went over, did you notice that he couldn't hook his finish on correctly, and he was in a rush to do it tonight? If you looked at the proper grip on his finish, and he took him like kind of halfways, he still picked him up and slammed him good, but he didn't have the finish on. And when you're a champion and you got your finish, this goes for every wrestling guy out there, every fan, everybody who's a writer, everybody. If you're going to do a finish, you do it the right way. It's your finish. You're the master of it. Nobody's supposed to be better than you doing it. So you give the guy a pass just being on shaky ground. But for wrestling one-on-one, you never mess up your own finish.
All right, Vito, go ahead. Take it away with the main event. I'll let you go.
Okay, the main event tonight, you had Brock Lesnar as a champion, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. This was a great start to a great match, okay? I thought they did a hell of a job getting Braun Strowman over as a monster. I thought that they really played up the Lesnar being a beast in Carnage. I thought Roman Reigns did a hell of a job in there tonight, keeping his yards clean. I thought that Samoa Joe was the one that did not look like he belonged in that match. and he looked like the fourth wheel, the third wheel, and he just didn't belong with those guys. I know, and this is not a knock against him. He has a certain ceiling or where you could put him, and he's a top heel, but he's not a main event guy. He's a lower main event guy, and that's not a knock against him. When you have four guys like that in the ring and they're flying and doing their stuff, I just thought that he just did not have that it factor in there to be in the mix. He's a good guy to have in there. He's a good wrestler. He's a good heel. He just didn't belong in the match. I thought them doing the damage to Lesnar and Lesnar coming back was great. I thought the things they did with Strowman to put over his power, you can see a Strowman Brock Lesnar program coming. I think that the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar matchup is going to wait and build some steam. I don't think that Samoa Joe is going to have a program with either one of these guys. I think he's going to go off somewhere else. But Braun Strowman is the future of the WWE, and I could see him taking the title off Lesnar down the line at WrestleMania. I'm not talking now. I'm not talking next week. I'm talking WrestleMania, Braun Strowman, new Universal Champion. I thought the match was excellent.
Yeah, I did too, bro. I thought the match was off the hook. Explain to these guys, though, Vito, because, I might even be able to explain this a little better from a writing and booking perspective, okay? Bro, a lot of times if you have a match like this and you got, like, big guys in the match like this, you'll always try to throw a worker in the match. And I kind of think that was Joe's role in this match. Yep. Joe's a good worker. With those three big guys, Joe's going to make the match better. But I agree with you, bro. And I don't want to take a slight at Joe because I'm not taking a slight at Joe. I just think Reigns, Strowman, and Lesnar are genetic freaks. I don't think Joe's a genetic freak.
No. And you know what? I mean, you can't blame a guy for his body and a look. I mean, he has a look that you like. He has that tough heel look. But as far as being with those guys who are like superior athletes, all three of them have quickness. All three of them have power. And they just have a certain distinction about them. It's just like I could tell you about a match when you had Undertaker, you had the Big Show, and Mark Henry in the ring. And Mark Henry looked like a midget.
Yeah.
And Mark Henry's the strongest man in the world.
Vito, did you notice on that very, very first throw from Lesnar, bro, it looked like Joe landed square on the top of his head. Did you see that, bro?
I saw it, and if you notice now, I don't know, I wasn't there, but it looks like Joe was talking smack and Lesnar was talking smack at him back, and Lesnar wasn't paying attention to the other two guys, and it just looked like a little back and forth between them. Lesnar's the man. So if you're going to talk smack, say a little bit, keep your mouth shut. But, I mean, if it was an on-purpose throw, hey, that was a good throw. If it was a great throw and he landed on his head, hey, it was a great throw. But remember the one thing, people, you always protect yourself.
Yeah. But, yeah, bro, it looked like he was flying. And then he went out, and I kept looking to make sure, because I swear to God, bro, it looked like he landed straight on the top of his head. Vito, would you believe I saw this the other day? I got to backtrack, bro, and then I'm going to get back to this because I want to talk to you about something that bothered the shit out of me in this match.
What's up?
Vito, the other day I'm up in the middle of the night, and, bro, that New Japan wrestling is always on in like 3, 4 in the morning, and it was this big G1 tournament, so I'm like, let me freaking watch this so maybe I can understand what Meltzer and all these idiots are talking about, right, bro? Vito, would you believe a guy gave a guy shoot, bro, why am I drawing a blank now? Okay, bro, a guy, two Japanese guys in there. One guy gave the other guy a pile driver from the top rope. Okay, bro, a pile driver from the top rope. Bro, the guy kicked out at 1.
I can't say nothing.
Vito, can you imagine, bro? The guy kicked out at 1. All right, Vito, can I tell you what, bro? I love this match. I'm giving this match on Meltz's scale of 5 stars. I'm giving it 6. I loved it. I loved everything. I loved the tables. I loved the drop in the table. Bro, there's one thing that almost killed it for me, Vito.
What's that?
Okay, Vito. Vito, who's a bigger Rocky fan, you or me?
I think it's a tie, but go ahead.
Okay, now, Vito, let me ask you this. Do you remember Rocky 3 when Rocky's heart wasn't in it anymore and he was on the beach with Adrian and he was telling Adrian the whole thing? I'm afraid, okay? For the first time in my life, I'm afraid. Remember that speech, bro?
I remember it.
And then he got in the ring with Clubber Lang, bro, and Clubber Lang cleaned his clock. Do you remember that, bro?
I remember.
Now, I can remember vividly, bro, when Clubber Lang was cleaning Rocky's clock. What was Mickey doing? Mickey was looking away because he couldn't watch. Mickey was like looking away because he couldn't watch Rocky getting destroyed. Okay, bro? Bro, I'm not even going to say with all due respect because this isn't with any respect. Okay, bro? Freaking Paul Heyman sitting there and crying and carrying on like a freaking cartoon character almost killed the entire freaking match. Bro, no freaking grown man, whether you're his advocate or his manager or his financial advisor or his butler, no grown man is going to sit there and freaking cry. You're going to be concerned for the guy. Is he really hurt? You're not going to freaking cry. He looked like a freaking buffoon cartoon character, and it almost killed the whole freaking thing for me.
I thought it was a little ridiculous and a little emotional. I mean, you're guys, you know what I mean?
Right.
You get up, come on, fight, get up. The crying thing, the screaming. There was one part there where he looked at Strowman and he looked at Brock and I thought Paul was going to pull out a card. Hey, after the match, give me a call. My name is Paul Heyman.
Because I'm looking at him and I'm remembering Mickey, like when Mr. T's throwing around, and like Rocky's dead and Mickey's just looking away and wincing. Like, I get that, but I mean, come on, freaking yeah. But you know what it is, Vito? This and it goes right back to Vince with why Jinder Mahal needs the Singh guys, bro. That's so freaking old school bullshit. You got to change with the freaking times, bro.
But sometimes, sometimes we say that you got to change with the times, but then sometimes the old times are in the right place. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean, bro. I know exactly what you mean. I do know.
It's kind of hard to like knock it and then take it. You got to just take it with a grain of salt. Some things work old school, some things don't. Sometimes the old school method is good. Sometimes it's bad. It's just about where you place it in the card and how you proportion it through the program. And that's your forte. Yeah. I'm just a guy who learned from behind the scenes, and I watched a lot of great minds work. That's why when I talk to you about this stuff, I have a good concept of what I'm talking about because I learned and I watched. I was a student. I got to act out in these things. I lived these things. So I understand the wrestling business a little better than a lot of people because I got to see both sides. And then I got to write and I got to do other things. So having the whole ball of wax, maybe not to your level or Vince McMahon level, but I have the concept and general idea. And that's why it's easy to talk about this. Some stuff is good, some stuff is not. Well,
Vito, I got to tell you this, bro, and I rarely say this. I rarely say this, bro. Bro, I sat here right in front of my computer. I watched 3 hours. I was not bored. I was not entertained. I was entertained. I enjoyed it. Like I said, bro, some of the winners and losers, me personally, I would have done a little differently. Some of the winners and losers, like I said, especially with the girls, I feel they had those girls on a roll. Baron Corbin, I understand they're punishing them, but business is business, whatever. But I'm talking about as a 3-hour entertaining, block. I was thoroughly entertained. I put the show over, bro. I think it was a good show.
It definitely was a good show. And people, if you remember our concept and my saying, you want the truth or you want me to lie to you, you give it a thumbs up for tonight. Everybody worked hard. It was a good show. All the matches had a little something for everybody. We explained some of the matches. I think the short people, the person who got shortchanged tonight was Rusev and Orton. I think it was a time thing, honestly, truly, because it was a great, it was fast, furious, and then blah. I think the Corbin match, the guy's getting punished for something he did. He's got to learn a lesson. Like Vince said, I think that the girls' matches was a strong champion. I think Natalie's a transition champion. Alexa Bliss should have kept the title. She didn't do nothing wrong. She was strong champion. I just think they're going to go into a program with Bayley. And as far as the rest of the card, the Shield is back together because that's what the people wanted. Brock Lesnar is still champion, which is what he deserves, and that's why he's being paid the big dollars because he's the man. And I thought the rest of the guys on the card, everybody worked good.
But Vito, I have to listen. You say we got to be on. You want me to be honest, or you want me to lie to you?
I want you to be honest.
I got to call you on something you just said.
What's that?
Okay, you just made the comment Rusev got shortchanged. Okay,
right,
bro. He's going home with Lana tonight, bro. You understand?
I understand that, but
wait, hold on. No, there's no short, bro. He's going home he's taking Lana home with him to his bed tonight. Do you understand that, bro? There's no short changing in that, bro.
Vince, I've taken home 10,000 Lanas in my life, but wrestling came first.
All right, very nice.
There you go.
Very nice. All right, Vito, listen, I want you to give all your plugs because there's a couple of things I got to talk about on coming shows that I don't want to hold you because it's late, but I want you to get all your plugs out there first so people know where to find you, where to follow, where to book you. Go ahead, bro.
All right. First and foremost, we do have merchandise. I sent an email to Vince tonight with my first shirt. Once Vince gets all the details, done for me, we will have Big Vito merchandise. It's a great looking shirt. It's coming, guys. Just be patient. If you go to my YouTube channel, guys, subscribe. There's 150 videos on there. Go to the YouTube channel. Check the like button. Doesn't cost you nothing. We always could use more followers on the Big Vito brand. If you guys go there and follow, I greatly would appreciate it. If you could follow Getting Color and spread the word that it's a new show. It's got a hot concept. Everything is going good with it. I think all the people and the fans and the feedback is really good. It's the Big Vito brand, people, the Big Vito brand. And I got to say one thing to all the fans out there. Tonight on Twitter, I interacted with some of the people, and they were asking questions. They had a little fun. People, when you deal with guys, who are taking their time to answer the Twitter, nobody likes to be called names, and everybody wants respect. And I understand you guys think you know the wrestling business. Now, somebody made reference to me of being a jobber, and a lot of the fans on the Twitter, they took and they defended me. I didn't have to defend myself. I'm going to tell you people something. I started out as a jobber. I was a jobber. I was a good enhancement jobber.
Good little hand. You're a good little hand, as Dutch man.
I was a good little hand. Skull Von Crush made his way. But I'm one of the few guys who made it from jobber status to superstar status. And I don't mind the fact that I was a jobber and I was very good at it because you have to be good at that and you have to start somewhere.
Sure, of course.
So don't knock nobody when they do it. And people just have respect, like for Vince too, when you say things about his writing or the past. We take the time to answer and talk to you guys. It's a pleasure for us to do it. Just have the courtesy to show some respect to us, and that's all we ask. And that's really all I have to say about that. The Big Vito brand, the Vince Russo brand, Podcast One, Real TV,
Vito, I don't think you gave your Twitter. Give me a Twitter handle. Tell them what I get, and Facebook and all that. Go ahead.
Facebook, the Big Vito brand. YouTube channel, the Big Vito brand. Twitter, it's the Big Vito brand. T-shirts are coming for the Big Vito brand, and Vince is going to have all the details next week. Guys, it's always a pleasure being on the show. I'm glad we're getting good feedback. I'm glad the show is growing. Vince, thank you very much for tonight.
Yeah, and Vito, next week we're going to continue our conversation we started last week when ECW, WCW, WWE were cooking on all four burners, bro, in that period, the late 90s to 2000. That's what we were supposed to do today, but I really wanted to pick your brain about SummerSlam, so we'll pick that up next week.
Sounds good. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Remember, Live Baby Live is the Big Vito brand signing off. Vince, I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, Vito. Thanks a lot.
All right.
The great Vito LaGrasso, everybody. And please follow him. Please follow the Big Vito brand. Listen, I want to tell everybody out there, listen, Uncle Vince is going to talk to you one-on-one. And I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I hope everybody knows by now that, I do this show 5 days a week. And I never miss a show. When I'm on the road, I do the show. When I'm at my father's, I do the show. When I got to go work, right now they want me to go work in the UK and Scotland and London. This guy wants to book me, and my first thing is, well, I got to do my show. I do my show 5 days a week. I got to make sure I got internet. I got to do my show. The show always comes first. I don't do the show once a week, bro. I don't do the show twice a week. I do the show 5 days a week. I'm busting my onions, as is Jeff Lane, as is Vito LaGrasso, as is everybody else involved with the brand in an effort to support ourselves, guys. Listen, I don't think people understand. Wrestlers' money and writers' money are two completely different things, bro. I did not make Stone Cold Steve Austin money or The Rock money or Vito LaGrasso money for that matter. I was a writer. And, bro, people forget, too, I was a writer many, many years ago. As a matter of fact, I haven't worked full-time as a writer in the wrestling business for 6 years. So doing a podcast is how I make a living. That's how I pay my bills. That's how I take care of my family. I'm trying to put my third daughter through school right now, Annie. I'm putting her through school right now. And it all comes from this podcast. That's why I do it 5 days a week, because I want to earn my pay. And there's one way you can support me. Actually, there's two ways you can support me. And I'm going to ask you to please support me so we can keep doing this. Number one is you could subscribe to our shows on the Realm Network. And what that is all the shows you hear for free on Podcast One, you can actually see the video on the Realm Network a day earlier. You could see the video of these shows 5 days a week, a day earlier. It's $2.95 a month. That's 75 cents a week. But that $2.95 a month enables me to take care of my family, enables me to pay Jeff Lane what I can. And without your subscriptions, we're not going to be able to do it. And I'm just coming clean, and I'm just being honest with you. Also, supporting our sponsors is huge. TrueCar, Pro Wrestling Loot, Collar and Elbow, celebrity video messages, following our sponsors and supporting our sponsors is huge, huge, huge to this show. I want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. As I said, TrueCar, Pro Wrestling Loot, Al Snow's new company, Collar and Elbow, and celebrity video messages where I can cut promos for you. You can give the promos to your friends. You can give your promos to your enemies. It doesn't matter, but please support our sponsors because they help our show as well. So again, bro, I'm being humble and I'm being honest. I need your support to be able to continue to do this. And those that support me now, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you want to try out the Realm Network, there's no long-term commitment at all. Just go to the Realm Network, RELMnetwork.com. You could sign up, $2.95 a month, or you can go to our website, russosbrand.com. That's it, everybody. Tomorrow I'm going to be back with a taste of That's Life. I worked an indie show yesterday. I ran into a lot of old friends. I went back to my old stomping grounds, the Nashville Fairgrounds, where TNA first started, Sports Entertainment Extreme. I was back in that very same locker room yesterday, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. So I hope you join me tomorrow. Again, you guys, thanks for support. See you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.